And after weeks of escalating threats and military posturing around the Strait of Hormuz, U.S. President Donald Trump has made a dramatic and high-risk move. The shift is quite clear from reopening to blockading. The aim is to maximize pressure on Iran by strangling its cash flow from the energy trade. But instead of rallying allies, the move is raising alarm. Europe is holding back. Regional partners are uneasy, and China has issued a blunt warning. Underlining Beijing's trade and energy agreements with Tehran, China has cautioned the U.S. against blocking its ships. The defense minister, Admiral Dong Jun, warned the U.S. not to interfere in China's bilateral affairs with Tehran, adding that Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz and it remains open for China. The latest flashpoint coming days ahead of President Trump's planned visit to Beijing, remember. The waterway is extremely crucial for Beijing as it supplies nearly 40% of its oil and at least 30% of its LNG needs. In fact, the ship tracking data showed reportedly that a Chinese tanker sanctioned by the U.S. passed through the strait despite the U.S. blockade, reportedly. And Iran has rejected the blockade as piracy. It has pushed back against Trump's claim that its navy was finished, showcasing fast missile boats and issuing a pointed warning. Trump admitted that the U.S. has not hit much of Iran's fast attack ships, adding that if any of these attack boats came close to the blockade, they will be hit in the same way that U.S. forces destroyed drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean. That statement on your screen. And Trump has also said the Navy had started mine-sweeping operations in the strait. Reports say 2 Avenger-class mine hunters are sailing towards West Asia. But analysts say that American mine-sweeping capacity is limited, and Washington may have to look outside its own ranks.
Yeah, other countries are going to also.
Which countries, sir?
We don't need other countries, frankly, but they've offered the services. We'll let it be known probably tomorrow.
But despite Trump's claim, no ally has offered to join the blockade. NATO allies, including Britain and France, said that they would not be drawn into the conflict by taking part in the blockade. And the biggest pressure for the U.S. may come from its own allies. A new report suggesting that Saudi Arabia is pressing the U.S. to drop its Hormuz blockade. The Wall Street Journal, citing Arab officials, reported that Riyadh fears that Iran might retaliate by closing the Bab el-Mandeb, the Red Sea choke point crucial for its remaining oil exports. Iran's Houthi allies in Yemen, remember, control a long stretch of the coastline near the Bab el-Mandeb. The strait is a narrow passage between Yemen and the Horn of Africa that connects the Red Sea with the Indian Ocean. The Houthis had severely disrupted the waterway for much of the war in the Gaza Strip. A blockade could lead Iran to ask the Houthis to close the choke point again. In fact, Iran also levied threats of its own against neighboring ports. Iran's military command has warned that if the security of its harbors is threatened, no port in the Persian Gulf and the Arabian Sea will be safe.